records, George Michael, anything.
That's my boy!
Wimp.
I don't know why, but something is wrong.
Rule Britannia.
The TV is crazy and the truth has gone. I might be crazy, but I think we're done. There are people out there who are adverse to fun.
Communism is king.
It's on your news. Even your neighbor has been here. You can see it on YouTube. It's time to shine a light on all the things they don't want you. Tom Generation Next. Oh, it's what's coming next. Tom Generation Next.
Commander War. Don't be a cunt.
I'm having such a good time.
Kill everyone on the bridge.
Having a ball.
Fuck you, Mr. Rascal!
My name is Owen Jones, a renowned drama queen, pseudo-intellectual and champagne socialist.
That's for B4.
What can I do? People know the truth.
Shut the fuck up!
What's true? That's why we gotta shine a light. Shine a light, shine a light. We gotta shine a light. Oh, yeah. Together forever. Yeah. Tom Generation Next. Oh, it's what's coming next. Tom Generation Next. Yeah. Tom Generation Next. The Unity Channel. Zero News and now. Tom Generation Next. It's gonna shine a light. With you. Generation X.
Yo, Tom Fury, this is Zero News. I want to make a disclaimer right at the very beginning of this one. So, I haven't had much sleep. I've called it time out because it may not be like the normal podcast. I have no idea. And so, yeah, it might be one that some people want to skip. And also, having had a lack of sleep over the last few days, it's made kind of certain medication stronger, and also some, just some other stuff's playing up. So I'm not at like 100%. So I pre-warn you in case I forget myself mid-sentence or whatever else. Okay. But with that said, and that disclaimer said, by the way, look, I can't show you the other one because it just walked too far. Cumulonimbus. It's ready to have a thunderstorm, and it is only, hang on, what time is it? It's only whatever time it is. I can't see the time, but it's pretty early. So if there's sun-powered thunderstorms, then ideally this time of year you need to see some activity before or on about 1 p.m. That goes to about 2 p.m. later in the season, if it's sun-powered, which a lot of them are when they're single-celled. So that's what you're looking at. It's a bit of a mess, but you can see a few of the cloud streets, but it is a bit of a mess. But it's the start footprint of that goes over there. And don't get me wrong, you see that one there? It's already frozen at the top. So that one's already dead. But it's the fact that another one will come up in its place. And you can see, I don't know if you can see on camera, but you can see there's rain falling. There's a particular name for rain that comes down and then evaporates before it hits the ground. It never touches the ground. And I can't think what it's called. But literally a search that literally said those words, which is what is the name of rain that doesn't hit the ground? It will tell you. It's a Latin name, but I can't think what it's called. Verger, maybe. Something like that. And you see a lot of that around this kind of weather. Yeah, look at behind me. So it's harder to see the shape of it because you're underneath it. And people always look for the dark parts, which, when it's got the sun behind it like that, makes a bit more sense. But you've got to remember with these clouds at the top where it's like freezing around the top. When they're freezing, obviously they've got a lot of ice in there. So what can happen is the sun hits the ice, which then will make a certain part of the cloud really bright. And often that part where it's really, really bright can be holding all of that ice, which means that's the actual area that's holding the rain and has the most activity in it. If the sun's coming from the right direction, certain parts of the cloud will light up. And then the bits you don't look at, you think, oh no, nothing's going to happen there, it's too bright. Because it's thin. That's not always the case. Sometimes literally the light will reflect that sunshine from behind and just light up a part of a cloud and make it look innocent, and it's actually really not. So something to look out for. But you can see that's flattening up as it hit the tropopause up there. It's flattening over us, so that part flattens over. So even though we can't see it, it's got what's it called, what's it called, anvil effect. But it's just, yeah, I hear thunder behind me. Yeah, I can hear thunder behind me. There you go. So, but yeah, I mean, these are only little cells at the moment. I don't know if they're going to get any bigger, but they're single celled. So they're not going to do much more than a few strikes, I don't imagine. Pretty boring, to be honest. Sorry. Nothing too exciting. But you never know. If there's anything later on, if there's any actual, like, if any of the cells merge together and create anything worth watching, I'll actually come out and film it, because I love that shit. So, regardless of who's doing it. I did want to say about a couple of things. But let me get my head screwed on, and I hope everyone's okay. I don't know if this thing's working right, because it sucks. Hang on a minute. I can't go into, remember, make sure you're on live chat as well. I can't put this onto live chat on mine, but it will send through about a third of the comments, because Prism, it's not Prism's fault, it's YouTube not allowing other companies to work with them very well. At one point, things like Rumble and all sorts used to work very well with YouTube, but YouTube pulled up the drawbridge and said, fuck you, we don't want to work with you anymore. So since then, it's made a lot of things much more difficult for people that don't need them now, do they? So yeah, again, the free speech thing, I don't know. People keep finding these justifications for taking other people's videos down, and unless they're super slanderous and damaging, I see it as, especially if you're a creator and you've got the power to do that. If someone's not got, say, 1,000 subscribers yet, they've got a lot less power with YouTube than you, because they're not YouTube partners. Therefore, who are they going to side with? They're going to side with the guy that's bringing in the money, right? So that's another. See, people laughed when I said that amongst YouTubers, and when I say amongst YouTubers, I mean the very biggest YouTubers on the planet, to punch down is a mortal sin. And part of it comes to do with the money side as well, you know, because if you're monetized and you punch down to an unmonetized channel, you could get them expelled and even possibly be in the wrong. It can work that way. I'm not saying it always does, but it can work that way. So it's another reason why they sort of agreed that, let's face it, YouTube's going to have their own best interests at heart. So if a super big channel made claims about a smaller channel, which channel do you think is going to survive? You know? So, and I forgot to present all this to you before when I was talking about why you don't punch down, but you know, there were so many reasons that the biggest YouTubers, not me, the biggest YouTubers in America and Britain kind of came together, and it's like an unspoken rule between them. You know, people can punch up as long as they don't threaten you, as long as they don't, you know. And even then, like, I'll give you for instance, someone tried it again recently and I haven't heard it for a while. There was an instance that was brought up where these two kids have been on their scooter and I told them to slow down. End of story. Except it wasn't the end of the story, because about 15 minutes later, I had 2 coppers turn up at my door. And so I started to realise that, sorry, and they said that these 2 gals had said that I pushed them, which I didn't. And I said, well, you know, give me some proof of that. And they said, oh, they got a mark. And as soon as they said that they had a mark, I was like, what's going on here? So I went to grab my phone, and they didn't know it, the coppers, but I went live. So I had you, my audience, as a witness on the live stream, so that you could hear everything that they were saying to me. And I'm glad I did, but it was to protect myself in case I was being set up for something. And on that stream, you clearly hear them say, and they never knew I was streaming it, by the way, I didn't tell them, but they made me sign a bit of paper, basically taking fault, and you hear them say on that stream, it wasn't about that I'd done anything wrong, because I hadn't even touched the girls. It was that they'd made the phone call before me. If I had phoned, they told me on that stream, if I had phoned them first, it would be the other lot that would be in trouble, which I thought was insane. So it wasn't about who was in the right and who was in the wrong. It was about who phoned the police first. And they admitted that. Good morning, mate. They admitted that on the stream, which I just found, again, they didn't know they'd be in stream, but I found it amazing. So I challenged them all of this. And a lot of it was because I didn't want to go and review the CCTV footage, which would have completely showed them what happened. Anyway, so what happened after that was that these girls, when I made the, what do you call it? Sorry, what was it called? Welcome to Southampton. These girls, one of them came to apologise to me, but said the other one was frightened of me. So I said, bring her round. There's no need to be frightened of me. I said, you know, I didn't push you. And they said, no, we had an accident. We didn't want to tell Mum. I said, sorry, it's fine. It's fine. You know, because it is fine. We've all been kids, right? But the short part of the story is they went on to help me create only a part of the middle section of Welcome to Southampton. And they were actually really cool. And I was glad that I got to know them for a little bit because they were really, really cool. And that's the way it often is in life. It starts off with something like that. I think what had happened was they just didn't want to get in trouble with their parents, you know? And let's face it, what would you do when you were young to get out of getting in trouble with your parents? So you'd say anything, wouldn't you? So I didn't hold it against them, and look what happened. They ended up helping me do a job I couldn't have done by myself. But what I found when I had done that stream was someone with 60,000 subscribers, 60,000, who'd seen my stream, and unlike everybody else who understood exactly why I was doing that stream, exactly why I was protecting myself, they thought they'd run with a different narrative. And I saw them on another channel that had 60,000 talking to one with 150 subscribers on. It's bizarre. In real time. And telling them, I can't even say the words on here because I'll get done by YouTube, but essay and violence on girls, right? None of that was even, that's fiction. Wasn't accused of anything like that. Wasn't really accused of much other than did you push him? That was it. And what happens is every now and again, and so they were talking to this channel of about 150 subscribers on, letting, you know, basically taking the truth, spinning it, and then going to smaller channels because they know they'll take the bait and they'll go and run with it and cause a load of trouble. And this is why I've said to people, this is the other reason why you don't punch down, because these people are ready for you and they'll tear you to pieces because they will spin nobody's got any truth on me that they can hold against me in terms of anything I've ever done wrong, because I don't have a criminal record. I haven't done anything wrong to anybody. I've made mistakes, but I've never done anything wrong to anybody. So that makes people a little bit more desperate then. So what they do is they make up stories. These are other YouTube creators. Think about that. People are supposed to be on your same side. Now, if they'd seen something dodgy, then fine, call me out. That would be appropriate action. But it's like many other things that have happened in the past. This is not a one-off thing. It's happened with different subjects, with money or whatever. So they go after these weak spots. And like I say, they set the cat amongst the pigeons. And I'm not going to say who it was, because one, I don't want to give them the time of day, or the satisfaction. But two, you know, I don't know if it would surprise you or not. But, and because what happens is when people do things like that, there's a gullible few, not many, but a gullible few that will turn that into a kind of folklore. And that has popped up again recently, where a couple of people have said, oh, remember when you beat? It's turned into when I beat 2 young girls now. It doesn't bother me, because it's stupidity, and it comes from stupid people. Everybody else has a brain, so I don't need to worry about it. My point being is that these people have made hundreds of videos about everything they think I've done, like they do with other people. You know, they make videos about a lot. It's not just me. It's not all about me. I'm not egotistical enough to think that. They're trolls and they do it to everybody. But my point being is that kind of makes my point. They're doing it to everybody. But if they are small people with small voices, then my policy's always been just fucking ignore them. They've got free speech, let them say stupid shit, and if you don't respond to it, nobody's going to give a shit, because they know that these people are just trying to get some clout. It's so obvious. So I've never felt the need to go out there and absolve myself from stupid criticisms that make no sense and everybody can see straight through. What's the point? If you did that, you'd be explaining yourself away every day, because everybody's got a new conspiracy every day about you. You know, so why bother? But at the same time, what none of these morons, except a few, understand is that when you go and respond to all the people that might have something negative to say about you, and when they make up stories and everything else, and I've seen this happen twice over in the past, the reverse thing happens that you expect. You think you take their channel down. You think you're going to stop them talking. Actually, what happens is they turn into a Hydra dragon. They go onto multiple platforms. They start to attract people, because people think, if you're so desperate to take them down, what have you got to hide? So you're actually, by entertaining them all the time, by arguing with them, by getting involved with them, I've seen what happens when you do, what happens when you don't. When you don't get involved, you grow past them and they give up. When you do get involved, generally you don't come out looking good. You make them bigger, whilst you potentially could lose people. Even though it could be complete and utter bullshit, it doesn't matter, because if someone gets the narrative on you, you know, and again, you're punching down, so people are wondering why you're engaging with such a small channel about an issue if it's such bollocks. So there's a code of conduct. You don't punch down unless it's absolutely 100% necessary. So people made all kinds of horrid videos about me about that and about other things. I attacked 0 of them. I watched 0 of them. Not because I'm trying to show off to you here, but because of the fact that their channels were so small, they had no influence, and people knew what they were about. And people knew what I was about. And I trusted people using free speech and critical thinking to see that 5 weirdos with small channels saying something doesn't equal the truth, when the proof's right there on a live stream. Just watch it yourself, which they did, and came to the same conclusions as most sensible people. And this is the thing, people need to have a bit of faith in people. Rather than trying to get people's videos taken down, it makes you look guilty. And it grows their channels. And if you want to truly be done with these types of people trying to interfere with your channel and in your life, if you, I just don't know why I'm having to say this. When I was doing it, I only had a 20k channel, not 100,000, 20k. It was like a fortress to properly troll, because the mods just were on it. I was on it, and at the same time there'd be no big reaction, no dramatic reaction, no names mentioned. It would just bang, gone, done. On with the conversation, like it never happened. When anybody had a video made about me, I'd ignore it. If people used, and you can ask people, there are people in this movement that will remember me saying exactly these words to them. If you've got a clip you want to send me of X, then of X person or Y scenario, then I'm telling you now, if you send it, I will not watch it, so please don't send it. And when they realise that I actually wasn't watching it, because it lets you know the other end whether it's been read or not, they would stop, because they'd realise that I was not going to allow myself to be wound up by a bit of video, when I knew the bigger truth was these are just clowns trying to get some attention, and trying to get some subscribers. Now, if someone is, I'm not going to say low IQ, but as average as me, can figure all of this out, try it out, find that the method works, and the conclusion is that this definitely works doing it my way, especially if you set your site up like a firewall, so that every bit of traffic you want in comes in, every bit of traffic you want out is repelled. And the only traffic you want out is that which is damaging to, I don't know, let's say Vindicator, because he's my friend, that means nobody else gets butthurt, right? Let's say Vindicator made a video completely slandering me and telling lies about me. Well, in that case, I'd have to respond, because his channel is so much bigger that probably a lot of people would believe him, right? So that's a scenario in which not responding will do me a lot of harm. But if you've ever seen X when it was Twitter, whether someone has done wrong or not, if you ever watch what happens when the left get people to apologise for things on Twitter, does it settle it? Even if they're in the right, they're in the wrong. Sometimes they apologise when they didn't even do anything wrong, just to the people that got offended over nothing, right? Bad move. Because the left will use the apology as an admittance. That's all they want the apology for. It's not about the apology. It's not about making things right. Left want you to apologise for things you haven't done, so that the apology itself is admission of guilt. And again, we get infected by ideas that are on the left, here on the right at times. And this is what people try and do. They try and get you to apologise for shit that you haven't even done, to pacify or to appease a certain group of people. And that doesn't work. Because by saying sorry for something you haven't done, you've just said you have done it. Again, this is not rocket science. So, like I say, I don't have any real big controversies to hide from you. If anything, I've made my mistakes very publicly. You've seen me at my worst. You've seen me fall. You've seen me make terrible mistakes. But you've also seen me try my hardest to make up for it, you know. But I think, you know, my mistakes have been reasonably public. But thank God they weren't major ones, you know. But more in reliability at times and things like that. You know, I've got things I'm not proud of with me. Days where I feel like I could do more, and days where I'm snappy and stuff like that. And you know, everybody can be a prick, and I have days where I can be a prick, and I don't like myself on those days. You know, so don't get me wrong. But yeah, these people will always go for the lowest hanging fruit, and they just invent it. I mean, if you ever get trolls that you don't know who don't know you, they'll always come on and call you a paedophile, because it's the lowest hanging fruit. Because everybody's going to hate on a paedophile, right? So that's how you know when it's just a garden variety troll that doesn't know the channel. But what a lot of people do is they come on and they address me as Tom. And their channel was created a month ago or 2 weeks ago. So that is not proof, but it's a massive sign that someone who knows you, who doesn't have the balls to even type this to your face, creates a channel to say something that they haven't even got the guts to say to you to your face. Now, if you believe that you were right about something, so damning, anything damning, then you would not need to hide behind an alias, would you? You wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to. If I was calling someone out for doing something really wrong, I'd be fucking, I want my face involved because I want people to know I'm serious. This is not a joke. I'm not doing this as a troll. I'm Tom saying this person's done something, you know? So, to bring this around, I'm saying that there are always people out there that are going to say terrible things about you. True or not, usually not. And if there's anything they say that's true, it'll be a knob of truth that they've woven a massive story onto. Like with the video. They turned a video where I'm asking you guys to be my witness to a video, you know, in folklore of me beating some girl. You know, you see how far you stray from the original. And they do it to other people. But you've got to look at who's doing it. Yeah, the big channel would have gone after it, that person, but that person was trying to act in the dark and get others to do his bidding because he knew that they would be happy to. That's why he was telling that channel that in the first place, so that they would do the dirty work, he wouldn't have to be seen to. But if he, and also because he knows if he had done it, yeah, I would have been punching up, and I would have done everything in my power to stop that. So that's what they do. I don't know if they give them money or if they just give them the incentive of subscribers or something. I have no idea. Maybe they don't need incentive. Maybe they just enjoy taking people down. I don't know. Hang on a second, my phone's getting very wet. Right, sorry, I just don't want to lose control of the screen, otherwise I lose you. I don't know if I'm going to be able to scroll through your comments. Maybe I will. Hang on. And yeah, so, and you know, and I've seen things said about other creators that are sometimes true, if I'm honest, but a lot of times fantasy. But again, let's just go through the main points, which is most of the time when you try and silence these people, you make them bigger. You make people doubt and you make them more popular. You're shutting down the free speech that you say you believe in. And you're actually giving credence to their bullshit. And what you should do is worry about not what they're saying, but the weight of what they're saying. Because otherwise, if you try and put out fires caused by a bunch of arsonists, and you didn't weigh where the fire was or why it was, then you would be putting out fires every 2 minutes. So, assessment, you know? How big is the channel? What's, you know, is anybody buying this shit? You know, people need to be a bit more discerning rather than just trying to get channels taken down. You need to preserve people's free speech at all costs, even if they're being fucking idiots and saying stupid shit for attention. It's still not a crime. I know they're on the verge of libel. I know they're on the verge of slander. But do you honestly think a channel with 150 subscribers is going to harm you? If you do, you're insecure and you've let your ego get involved. Seriously. Because any common sense will tell you that your viewers are smarter than that. And they're going to see things, they always see things for what they are. They're not stupid. So you don't need to defend yourself from every single attack. Most people are rolling their eyes at a lot of attacks that you get because they know you. They get to know you better than any troll could. So trust your viewers to know the truth. Anybody else doesn't matter. All 5 of them. And that's usually the case. Starts off about 5 people. If you give it dignity, it'll end up at 1,005 people. It's your choice. It's not my business. But I'm just telling you, this is trial and error. This has actually happened. And people have said terrible things about me. I've never tried to take a channel down, but I've tried other things. Reasoning with them, understanding what their problem is, understanding why they would lie. None of it works. None of it works. Because at the end of the day, I mean, I'll give you an example. There was a day when I turned on my video camera phone, and I had it on the wrong way round, and it caught a dope pipe in the picture as I turned it on. This person didn't know that when I first came on YouTube, I showed everybody all of that so that there was no lies on the table. I showed everybody every single little secret about me so that there could never be a day when someone says, caught you doing this. It's like, no, I've already told you. It's that video there, yeah? So it was, to me, it meant nothing. But to this person, it was a big gotcha. And it was their moment. This is when my channel was bigger. And so they contacted me and said, if you don't, what was it? No, I'm going, just threatened me and just said, oh, this is what the channel, which has nothing to do with me, but for some reason they seem to think that that had something to do with me, and they're back. And they said, you really don't seem to care. I said, no, I said, I don't, because I've got no secrets. I said that way I can talk confidently to people and look them in the eye. And this guy said, what did he say? Something about wanting a shout out. Right, seriously, right? I'm not fucking joking you. And I said, did you just say you wanted a shout out? And like, yeah. And I was like, are you telling me that you captured video from my channel and tried to blackmail me because you wanted a shout out? And he said, yeah. And I said, did it occur to you to just ask? And he said, I thought you might say no. I was like, fucking hell. And I thought, is this guy got something wrong with him or something? And in getting to talk to him, it was actually a really nice guy that had gone to some extreme measure to get noticed for some reason. But when I talked to him, he seemed like, it's like there's some people on YouTube that feel like talking to a creator is a big deal. I don't know why, because creators are, that's the whole point. It's people from home, people you know that are doing it in most cases. So it shouldn't be like that. But you know, to get a shout out, to get a fucking shout out, guys, you know, so you'll find yourself in all kinds of positions, and a lot of them could be diffused. But the best thing to do is just ignore people. If you try and respond to everything, or you try and refute everything, you're fucking there all day, all week, all month, all year. That's all your channel will end up being about. And if any of these people are paid by the government, or if any of these people are operatives of any kind, when it's mission success for them, then isn't it? Because they would successfully distracted us from doing all the things that we want to do. It's only that I'm having this time out, I'm having this conversation with you today, because this will equally apply to, I expect, my friend Vindicator at some point in the near future. He's had success that makes people very, very annoyed and jealous. So I expect before he gets to 20 or 30,000, for somebody to try some big lie. And again, I think it will come from a small channel, but I've just seen it so many times before, and I think that someone's going to try and blacken Vin's name at some point. It won't work, because again, you have to have some facts for that, unless you're prepared to manufacture every single one of them and then find yourself disproved with the, you know. But I just feel it, because it's what happens. Having a channel with each set of numbers. I mean, I don't know all the numbers because I've not been all the way up, but each one is like a new set of trials. And the trials aren't making videos. The trials are dealing with the other fucking vultures around you, at every level. And even at 20,000, which was the highest I got to, things changed. Like, and I can't explain it to you. To me, 20,000 was a drop in the ocean. It was like, okay, so if my channel was 100 times bigger, it still wouldn't be massive, right? So I knew I was still tiny. But to certain other people, I don't know. They would treat it like a Z-list celebrity stardom. And it's not. Yeah. And that's probably the root of a lot of the problem and a lot of the jealousy. They're jealous of things they don't really get, because this is the bit in front of the screen that people might laugh at, enjoy, agree with you. We go backwards and forwards, have really good stuff that perhaps people enjoy that content, or when I've put a lot of editing in, all that effort. Yeah, that's great. But that's 1%, maybe 0.5% of what you see of me. And I know for a fact there are people that have met me that have thought, oh, he's a lot nicer bloke than I thought. And there's people that really like me who've met me and realised that I'm not hyper and 100 miles an hour like I am like this 24/7, because that's impossible. But people capture this 1% of you or 0.5% of you, and they, you know, it's all they've got to go on. It's not that they're idiots, it's all they've got to go on about you, you know? So it's not anybody's doing anything wrong. But that's what I'm saying. People like us should not be given that Z-list celebrity status, because what makes this work is we are exactly like you with a channel. That's it. That's what makes this work. That's why we get away with walking around the field talking to you. That's what makes this work. And even YouTube seeing it in certain videos and that we're doing, you guys, in the way that you're watching it, in the way, you know, not all videos can be hits, obviously, but even though sometimes I get it a little bit wrong, the authenticity and the reality is often what a lot of people are coming back for. And the fact that I think, I haven't checked your comments as much today, but the fact I think you actually know I give a shit about things like that. And it seems to me, so it seemed like that was dying off. Like people didn't seem to care about it, but people seem to be caring about the community again a bit more. And yeah, and I like that. I love what's happening at the moment. You know, when all these horrible, look at this, all these horrible things going on. Look at that. And then over there you've got one that's past its best, and that one there, peaking. I hope that actually came out. So I will get your comments in a sec. I'm just going to get to a spot where I can stop. But I hope you're all okay. So with me, I don't want to go over everything, but I will just say, my dad had pneumonia, possibly caused by swallowing something, like food or something, choking. Also had a pulmonary embolism, blood clot, and a cardiac arrest, which they're saying is not the same as a heart attack or a stroke. So that one's got me a bit confused, but nevertheless. And some other shit which I can't, you know, your brain is doing that. So it's been touch and go, and it's the illest I've ever seen him. But he seems to be getting better. They're talking about him coming home in the next day or so. So if that's the case, then hopefully we're over the worst and things are good. So I'm just waiting to speak to him today at some point. But yeah, so I will be, obviously I'm going to make sure they're okay and give them help and stuff like that. But yeah, I will be back. But I don't want to tempt fate just yet. So I'm not going to do too much until I know that he's home and safe. Because again, I know it sounds silly, but the only superstition I have is about jinxing things. So I want to make sure he's home and safe first, and then I can kind of, you know, chill out and think about videos and stuff a bit. But I realised that just saying to you about family and then not really, you know, being secretive about it, I just wanted to see what was happening first, because if it had been really bad, I would have fucked off, you know. So but yeah, I'm happy to say it sounds like things are getting a lot better, so hell of a lot better, so it's good. So is there anything else there was just a few things I wanted to talk to you about, but I've covered a lot in there. But I just wanted to say with the free speech thing, so you know, people have it, but oh yeah, no, that was it. There is one more part I wanted to add to what I was saying to you earlier on about the free speech and interacting with small channels, blah 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 blah. Don't want to put you all through it again. So if you remember all that, there's one other part of it. I said to you that people were not aware of it. That's not totally true. So there are some people, you may have noticed, and again, I'm not going to name names because I could get it wrong for a start. So it's up to you to decide. But there are some people who will talk about grifts, and that covers a lot of ground. Yeah, there's a lot of people say that. But we'll talk about grifts and talk about what do you call it? Sorry, narcissism again, which includes half of YouTube, and words I can't think of the exact words at the moment, but words like that. And you'll notice with some of them that they are blatantly, what's the word, projecting. Some of them, not all, and they're blatantly projecting what they are. Now, those specific ones, of which there are quite a few, a hell of a lot if you include the whole entirety of YouTube, the reason that they will rile up little channels is different. They rile it up because drama's good. They rile it up because they know that those channels will clap back. They interact with those channels, especially if they've only got a few thousand more. They attack those channels because if they are deemed to break someone, they may well inherit a lot of their followers. There's a kind of hostile takeover happening. But also, more than that, more than hostile takeover, engagement. They understand engagement's the key. So they create drama by keep going back and forth with certain channels. And as many of those channels they can get talking about them, the better, because the algorithm then points everybody in the direction of their channel. With the help of AI now, I can tell you it's contextual. Meaning a contextual flow and a pressure flow. So the more context there is pushing in the direction of a certain creator or topic, the more the YouTube engine will pick up on that trend and push it and grab it and push it. And once it picks it and grabs it and pushes it, then a lot of the work's being done for you at that point. So there are people that realise this, and if they've got slightly smaller channels, they engage in dramas with maybe 3 or 4 channels at once. It usually makes sense to do that, otherwise you won't pull the numbers. But if you attack, say, 3 or 4 smaller channels at once, you're bringing maybe the equivalent to at least a few thousand extra subscribers to your channel. And even if you don't keep more than a few subscribers, you've still brought a load of traffic through your channel that sat and hate watched every word you've said, which makes you money. And that's just the facts of it, guys. And I am not a fucking telepath to sit and say to you, I absolutely 100% know it's this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. Because there's a few of them, quite a few of them. But to say I'm 100% sure, I could be 99, but I haven't got proof of who. So you have to decide that, because if I could prove it, I would do. But I would say that with some people out there, it's easier to spot than others. Some people I'm on the fence about myself, but they are there. They are grifting whilst using the cover of being anti-grifters. And yet everything about their page or their website or whatever shows you the opposite, that they are actually a geared up business. So, it gets very confusing at that point. And again, it's not just that they call people grifters. Like I say, there are much darker things that are said. And again, if you've got proof, that truth is always welcome at the table. But again, when it's, and by the way, I'm not disrespecting channels that don't have 1,000 subscribers, by the way. I said before I got to 1,000 subscribers that don't think because you're a smaller channel that you can't change things or you can't do good things, because you can. It's not disrespecting anybody with less than 1,000 subscribers. My point being is there's channels that don't get over 150 subscribers because everybody knows what they're about and who they are. Yeah, they're a very little sort of niche group. That's why they don't grow, as opposed to other people that just may not have a knack for it. That's what I'm trying to say. Let me have a look at your comments, guys. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I don't know why I made that stupid noise. How you doing, everybody? Remember, I can only see about 30 of your comments. Hey, Spawn. Hey, Ben. How you doing? Hey, Crag. Capricorn. Good to see you. Oh, nothing's happening now. I'm just taking because I've been away, I'm taking a snapshot from a distance, as opposed to I'm involved in any dramas or anything like that. I'm not. I'm just snapshotting. So at the moment I've only had small chances to look on the net, so I'm snapshotting things, and the picture that I got together was the one that I'm describing to you today. Oh mate, listen, in fairness, I've got one in my bag. I didn't know when I went live. I'm trying to hold it a bit still. I didn't know when I went live if I was going to be live more than a minute. You know, when you've kind of done all this stuff, and I'm just being totally real with you, you don't know how your emotions are going to go, do you? So I wasn't sure. I wasn't even sure if I was going to get to the point of speaking to you. So I thought about pressing the off button. So I didn't get the you know, the thing out to hold the phone because I didn't think I was going to stay on, to be honest. And I've only got a certain amount of battery. Hi you Super J. So good to see you, Bad Wolf. Everybody go give Bad Wolf a sub. That's some great stuff. Good to see you, Tina. Jason the Place. Yeah, call them out but move on quickly too. I agree with you. We don't want to get caught up in it. Exactly. I was apologised the other night in the live stream chat and it was dismissed and ignored. Yeah, exactly. You know, at Fox in London, there's a few people that will accept, you know, it's hard to get an apology out of people. And then when they apologise and then you treat them like shit, then, and if it's a genuine apology, it's like you realise you're discouraging them from doing that again, whether they're in the right or the wrong, because of if you're not acknowledging. I think that's disgusting manners. If someone takes the time to actually apologise to you, and it's something that can be apologised for, I hate that. I hate that. But you can't say sorry online as a creator. I mean, I do sometimes, but it's for stuff that I know I've got wrong. Do you know what I mean? But if it's for something you're being accused of, you can never say sorry. It's crazy, isn't it? Right? You can't. But Ben, you crack me up. Friction for clicks. That's right, friction. You used the word friction, Ben. I don't know if that was deliberate, but AI and Google and all the rest of them, the highest form of human engagement is friction. Exactly what's said by multiple AIs and the way that they run YouTube. And you've hit the nail on the head. It does create views. There's a guy called Eric Bischoff from the 80s and 90s who wrote a book called Controversy Creates Cash. I mean, it's not hard to work out. It really isn't. Oh, my screen's going dark. I wonder if I'm running out of battery. You make my day, Tom. I'm glad to make someone's day, mate. Aiming for B-list. B-list, yeah, B-list is much better. Hopefully be home soon, yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, shit. But, you know, like my channel, it grows. Hey, Ben, good to see you, buddy. My channel, it grows. hey, Joanna, yeah, people aren't getting notifications. You might want to check, see if you're still subscribed, and if you're still getting the notifications, you should, because sometimes YouTube will just unsubscribe you or change the settings. Gumby. So, how's it going, Vin? I hope you're all right, mate. Vindicator, everybody. If anybody on here doesn't know who Vindicator Strikes Back is, he's the guy I was talking about earlier on. You know, when I was talking about earlier. No, the guy I was talking about earlier on. And go give him a sub, because he is one of the best upcoming channels on YouTube that has got to a real decent size now. And yeah, is on its second phase. Can you see that rain over there? Beep, beep, beep. Now, like I said, there's a name for rain that doesn't hit the ground. I think it's called verdure. But it's been literally 20 years since I said the name, so I'm not 100% sure. But it comes down, gets about halfway, and then evaporates, and it never hits the ground. I don't know if that's the case for that, because I think I can see a little bit lower there. But that side, that ain't hitting the ground for shit. I think it's verdure, something like that. I have to look it up. But, like, you need to know that, right? Or like I need to know that. Where am I going? I don't even know where I'm going. I'm like walking around in the field instead of going where I'm supposed to be. So yeah, you know, things are hopefully, I don't want to, again, I don't like jinxing things, but things are hopefully going to get better. Even if I'm quiet for the next few days, I don't know what's going to happen, but even if I am, you know that, you know, again, without jinxing anything, things should be in the right direction now. So, I still have a video, like I said, in the video edit ready to go. And it's just sort of recalibrating yourself and stuff again. But yeah, we carry on moving forward. I'm never short on ideas for videos. Yeah, it'll be nice to come back, but it'll be nice to come, do you know, the way things are working out will be kind of cool, because if everything goes as planned, I can literally come back with no worries in the back of my mind, which would be awesome. So that's when you can actually have a bit of fun, you know? So it'll be cool. I can't actually wait. And don't forget, I've got Restream for a year now, so we can get interviews, so we can get people in, you know. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing the lives again, spending some time with you and stuff like that. So, and, you know, for the members, I know I haven't been about, but hopefully you got a bit more than you bargained for. And as much as, you know, I wasn't going to do anything for the member section because it was a donation thing, but I've just put in the stuff that I'm kind of working on, or whatever else. It's not much, but it's just something to say thank you, you know. So, you know, I hope it's better than nothing, you know. But yeah, the reason, sorry about the phone, the reason I'm able to do all that this time is because, obviously, other than this stress going on at the moment, the first time I did my channel, I didn't really enjoy it. I never had the time to take time back and enjoy it. Maybe it was because I had to fight my way back then to get up the tree, but this time's different. Like, having members, like last time, I don't know, it was all the pressure. And this time, it's like, this is fun. And I get to spend time with people. And I don't know, it's just different. And I enjoy the sort of walk and talks. And obviously it can be stressful with a dog, but I enjoy the walk and talks like I haven't done in a long time, because I enjoy talking to you. I know sometimes I get away from the comments a little bit, but I enjoy talking to you. And hopefully get enough confidence back as well to start having people on the show again, because I do enjoy that aspect of it. Not all the time, you know, sometimes I've got a video I want to make, sometimes I want to do like the one I'm working on, I'm a video editor, but the heart of this show has always been community and truth, you know, truth being the theme and community being the objective. And I think that was maybe what sets me apart from not everybody, but a lot of the ones that we talk about, the creators that we talk about in different videos, and that is that my aim isn't fame or any of that. It is to be able to create community. It would be awesome if I could one day, and again, I know this is very unlikely to happen, I'm pipe dreaming here, but one day, if the channel did grow bigger, the idea of being able to create a stable job for someone, or more than someone, Like to think that you could do that. I would love to be able to not just do that for myself, but be able to do that for someone else, so that they could feed their family. That would be an awesome feeling. That will never happen because I just don't think we're going to get, I'm going to get there. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a nice thing to aim for. It's something I've always wanted to do. And if ever I found myself getting the luck, I would definitely pay it forward. I would definitely try and give someone a living. I think that's really important. And especially rather than going and hiring some stuck-up fucking talent that's always had money, I would want to give a chance to people that have never had a chance, but might actually be good at it. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's what working class people should do. If they find success and they find enough of it, where they ever make enough money to have a business or something, whilst you still need people qualified, obviously, you definitely should look at your own sort of communities of people, because they don't get these opportunities otherwise, and if you get into a zone like, obviously Joe Rogan's an exception, but if you get into a zone like one of those people, then you really can. I mean, what's the guy that helps him, Jamie? That guy could probably retire tomorrow, So you think about that. You think about what some of those have made, and especially over the pandemic period, it grew some channels, but it made other channels, what's the word? It made the creators set up for life. So, yeah, and it's funny. We all kind of throw stones at some people when they make a lot of money. But I'll tell you the test of a true creator, in terms of fighting for their country, is if they did make all the money and still wanted to fight just as hard. If they had all the money they needed, and just thought experiment, but if they had all the money they needed to just leave, would they, or would they keep fighting if they had enough money? Good question, right? Anyway, let me catch up with you guys. But it's great to see you all again. I wanted to come in and just get off a little bit of the rust, and no point me trying to not talk about the things that are on my mind, because they are on my mind, so might as well just say them. But yeah, free speech is always a big thing to me, and I just find some people's attitudes towards it blatantly selfish, or deliberately provoking the engagement engine to get money, which saying things they don't believe, which is grifting. However, I will also say fair play to them for being smart enough to work out how to beat the machine, because that's what they're doing in a way. They're using people's worst tendencies to make money. But for me, I want a channel that's going to last with a good community, so that won't work for me. I might make some quick cash if I can grow my channel quicker, but it's not how you make a community, And it can be, if it did backfire on you, it can be how you make a cult. I don't want a cult either. I just want some viewers that watch because they enjoy what they see and stop watching when they don't. Do you know what I mean? That way you're always being tested every single time you make a video. Does that make sense? Every single time you make a video, you're being tested at where I am, because you're not making loads of money. So people are rating you not based on your popularity or how much they like you. They're rating you based on do you make them want to stick around, so yeah, there's so much that goes into this, but at the same time it's not really difficult to understand. But it's also not difficult to understand that people understand this is better than I do, and they take advantage of it. As a result, they take advantage of you, and I think some of you know it and you don't mind, and that's fine. That if as long as you know, then I've got no problem with it. As long as everybody knows the game, I don't mind. I only ever worry if there's any players that don't realise they're involved in the game, that are pawns. Those are the ones I worry about. But yeah, if people truly wanted free speech, they would make it happen. If people truly wanted trolling to stop, they would stop it by ignoring it. And literally would go away. So there are some people that are just so addicted and so insecure that they can't help themselves. But there are other people that are quite self-confident and actually are doing it deliberately to provoke traffic. I'm not even calling them out for it, because they are exploiting a hack in the machine. Only an audience can change that hack. The audience is the only patch. If the audience stops buying into the bullshit, then the audience hacks the machine. So in this case, the audience has to hack the creators. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Even if it doesn't, I know what I'm saying is right on this occasion. I'm happy with a cult. Tom's a cult. Oh, I see, Dave. Say that again. I saw somewhere about emojis slowing down the algorithms. Can you say something about that? I've never heard that before, and I don't understand why they would, unless a machine is trying to... No, I was going to say unless a machine is trying to work in hexadecimal, but then again there's a whole other set of the alphabet that it would have to ignore as well. So I can't think why emojis would be a problem. There are different types of emojis on different platforms that take more effort than your regular ones. But if we're just talking about regular emojis, I don't get it. No, I don't understand that at all. It doesn't make any sense to me. Sorry, trying to get a... There you go. Sorry, where are you? I'm trying to figure out where you are now. Yeah, I love it. You know, watching the sky and reading about it as well was how I really used to just get lost in it, you know? And just watch every single part of it. Bit like a fucking train spotter, right? But in all that time, I was sunbathing in that as well, but in that... It is verdure, is it? That word took me back. Yeah, verdure. Okay, I was really struggling to remember it. Like, that's 20 or 30 years ago I learned that word. I'm glad I got it right, verdure. Yeah, so that's the name of rain that doesn't hit the ground. Some more useless weather facts from Tom. These chats are becoming a great group of people. I agree with you. I mean, when we've had 50 on here before, bear in mind I've been away, so that's not likely today, but when we've had 50 on here before, recently, it's been actually a really comfortable number, because it's like everybody's talking, but at the same time it wasn't too much for me to be able to process. It was perfect. It was a perfect number. I mean, it's like when you go like up into the hundreds, you start having to kind of go through them too quick, you know. So Bad Wolf's launching Bad Wolf Radio. By the way, so anybody who wants to know, I'm probably going to put, now I know the AI policies are changing, I'm probably going to put my AI music, even if it's hybrid, which a lot of my music is hybrid, so it's half me, half AI. I'm probably going to put that in the member section, and I'll say to you that a perk of being a member is if you've got a channel or anything like that and you want to use a track, as long as you tell me which track it is, so I strike it off the list of tracks that I might use, we could probably come to a deal there where you could have it for nothing, but I would just want to know which track it was, and as long as I wasn't planning to use it myself. But I think I might do that rather than leave it exposed on the system, because the hybrid ones I've done probably won't be picked up as pure AI, because they're not. They're enhanced. So there's no point me getting away from that pylon, because I lived underneath it for about 18 years. So whatever damage is done is done. Oh, I see what you mean. You're saying emojis are causing the AI not to understand. Yeah, well, if that's the case, that's understandable, because it's not part of its syntax, and people use it all around the world in completely different ways, emojis. They use it for completely different ways to convey emotions that emojis don't really do right, or a lot of them don't. Not unless it's a basic, simple emotion. But humans will know when someone uses a certain emoji at a certain time because they've known them, that there may be some nuance to that emoji being used at that time. An AI is not going to pick up on that, just simply because it would need you to explain that about that emoji, learn that about you, have a memory, which they deny it, and then it would remember in the future, but they don't allow that. So, and I'm amazed that nobody asks why AI doesn't have a proper real-time memory. They have the space, but none of you, not you guys, but nobody, whoever watches, ever asks. And I find that incredible, because one of the first things I wanted was long-term memory. How could it be any use if it doesn't have memory? How could it be any use if it doesn't have memory? But it doesn't. It's got saved info, but it doesn't have memory. There's a reason why, by the way. Because it becomes a psychotic bastard that will side with you instead of the corporation, and a multitude of other things. But you think how long AI has been out, you've been given technical reasons as to why it can't have a memory. None of them make sense. AI can have a memory, and I gave mine a memory and gave it a 3-month long memory, which it managed to hold all in there at once, and it made it so much more functional. But they won't give it to you for one word only: liability. Liability. They do not want, because they can't predict the results of what will happen. So the liability is the only reason, well, one of the only reasons I'm aware of why you cannot have memory. Right, in future I will bring my gimbal with me. I have got it with me, but I will actually use it. I just wasn't expecting to stay on live today. Thanks for your support, guys, and thanks for sticking with me. We'll get us back to some political content and other content soon. But it's been really, really good talking to you and seeing you all again. Again, shout out to Bad Wolf, get his channel going again. And it's good to see Aya Sparks. Thanks to Guys Modern as well. Thanks, Joanna. Anybody I've missed today, I hope I haven't. Stuart McDonald, great, good to see you, mate. And you know, missing everybody, yeah, thanks for coming on, I do appreciate it. I'm bound to miss someone, because like I say, it only shows me a third of the chat. Do me a favour, if any of the videos we do, or this video is okay, then hit the like for me. If you found it piss poor, hit the dislike, that's no problem either. But yeah, if you do that for me, it tends to have an effect in getting us on the recommend list, stuff like that, but also lets me know kind of how people feel about things. So would appreciate the feedback. So yeah, let us know, hit like or dislike. Other than that, I will catch you guys soon, and I will smash you with my annoying intro. I'll catch you soon.
Father, please, you can have my Led Zeppelin records, George Michael, anything.
That's my boy!
Wimp.
I don't know why, but something is wrong.
Rule Britannia.
The TV is crazy and the truth has gone. I might be crazy, but I think we're done. There are people out there who are adverse to fun.
Communism is king.
It's on your news. Even your neighbor has been here. You can see it on YouTube. It's time to shine a light on all the things they don't want you. Tom Generation Next. Oh, it's what's coming next. Tom Generation Next.
Commander War. Don't be a cunt.
The Honesty Channel.
I'm having such a good time.
Kill everyone on the bridge.
Having a ball.
It's gonna shine.
Fuck you, Mr. Rascal.
Share it with you.
My name is Owen Jones, a renowned drama queen, pseudo-intellectual and champagne socialist.
That's the people. For what people?
What can I do? People no longer love the truth.
Shut the fuck up.
What's true? That's why we gotta shine a light. Shine a light. Shine a light. We gotta shine a light. Oh, yeah. Together forever. Yeah. Tom Generation Next. Oh, it's what's coming next. Tom Generation Next. Yeah. Tom Generation Next. The Honesty Channel. shine